Hi there, and thank you for joining me for today's live reading of Right in Front of You, Volume 1 by Brooke May. And this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Prologue, Brinley. This is the worst day of my life. It's never going to be the same. I'm so beyond sad that even as I smile and laugh, it feels like it's going to be the last time. A sharp and glistening knife is thrust up into the air, catching the light through the small round window that overlooks the front yard below, and where the sun is coming in so brightly, I wonder why there aren't any curtains over it. There are frilly, super pretty curtains all over this house that none of us are allowed to touch, but not one up here. Maybe it's because we're always up here playing. The thought steals my attention away from my friends instead of focusing on what has brought us up here for my going away party. This is our place, the one spot our parents have always felt safe letting us loose in, even if there are things up here older than all of us combined and extremely breakable. Like the creepy doll Clover accidentally dropped while chasing Lexi. We ended up hiding it until Lily could smuggle superglue up here to fix it. Anything pretty much goes at Lily's house, as long as we don't touch the curtains. We have to check in through Polly, Lily's grandma, every couple hours or so, unless we're playing up here. Moving from my knees to my butt, I look at each of my best friends, the absolute most amazing ones I could ever ask for. Lily is sandwiched between Lexi and Julia, while Mina, Eliza, and Clover are all looking way too happy to have stolen a knife from the kitchen. It isn't just an everyday butter knife they would have usually snagged to use to open something, but an actual steak one this time, and knowing Lily's grandma, it's sharp enough to cut through anything. The seven of us, Eliza starts as if she's giving a speech before some mighty battle, solemnly swear to be each other's best friends for life, that no time or distance will ever stop us from being as close as we are now and continue to be each other's tribe of choice. And someday, she licks her lips as if she just thought of something else to add to this pact, we'll be bridesmaids at one another's wedding. Eliza holds the steak knife high in the air as if it's her sword, and she's about to announce the charge while the rest of us sit in the circle we've made up here surrounded by boxes of Lily's family's memories and a sheet of paper in the center. And for our book club to remain as strong as it is now as well, Lily pipes up softly, which leaves Clover groaning and nearly falling backward. Out of all of us, she's the one who least enjoys reading. Do we really need to do this? All the color has left Lexi's face at the sight of the knife. Her brown eyes are as wide as the serving dishes downstairs, stacked with all of my favorite foods and treats at a card table. Yes, this is a must, Mina barks, causing both Lily and Lexi to flinch and grab each other while Clover and Julia bend over with a laugh. Brinley is moving. We need to do this so we remain friends for life. Julia is next to me, straightening up before she twines her black hair that looks like midnight blue between her fingers. It was in a swirl braid from Clover's Pocahontas hair braider when we first got up here. Until Eliza made her announcement, she wasn't even paying attention to the crazy girl surrounding us. We have each other's addresses, and I promise to write all of you as often as I can. My laugh is nervous as I eye the knife coming closer, with Eliza giving me an evil smile. Blood will seal us as sisters for life. A tribe of 7. Mina nods, even though she has a real sister downstairs likely trying to figure out where we all ran off to. There's no other way, Bryn, just one little poke. I even brought up peroxide and bandages afterwards, so we are all clean and not passing germs around. Eliza has put way too much thought into this. Yet, I can't argue with her. Okay, fine, but we do our own pokes, and it won't be my trigger finger. Swiftly, I take the knife from her, stab the tip of my finger closest to my pinky, and let a drop of blood hit the piece of paper we wrote our promises out on and signed. My drop lands right over my name. It goes quickly for all of us until the knife is passed to Lily. We are all 10, but she's the smallest out of our group and looks more frightened than Lexi did, even though she's just as pale. Come on, Lil, it isn't bad. Moving between her and Julia, I wrap my arm around her the same moment a shout comes up from down below for us to get back downstairs. Come on, before we get caught and Bryn has to leave. Clover, who's been laughing through the whole thing, now looks worried we're about to get busted. It wouldn't be the first time, and hopefully, with me gone, not the last. Big brown eyes dart around to all of us until Lexi takes the knife and goes first. Even though she winces, she forces a smile for Lily's sake and lets her blood drip over her name. See, not bad, Lil. You can do it. It takes us a couple of minutes to convince her she'll live, and her mom and grandma won't be mad at a little prick. When she's done and her finger is in her mouth, Eliza quickly reclaims the knife and slides it into the folds of her blue skirt her mom forced her into for my party. There, now we're friends for life. With a nod of her red head, Eliza rolls up the piece of paper for safekeeping and leaves the charge downstairs with the hopes of more cake, just as my mom shouts for us to hurry up. We need to get going. Today is my last day in Morris Valley with all my friends. Mom was offered a job in Texas she couldn't pass up, and Dad wants to find land down there and establish a ranch for us. We have to leave right away because Mom needs to get to work as soon as possible. One by one, we make our way down the pull-down ladder while I say goodbye to my life. I don't want to move and be away from my friends. I want to stay here, but I have to be with my parents. When we come down to the dining room, a few people are drying their eyes while I look around the room. Our parents and a few grandparents are spread throughout the room with Mina's younger brother and sister running around laughing. We've been lucky that our parents were all friends before we came along. Sadness takes hold of me as tears fall, and I turn, rushing into the small crowd of my best friends. I'm going to miss you all so much, I cry as they all wrap me in a cocoon I wish no one could break. We'll miss you too. Slowly, each of them pulls away until it's just me and Eliza. It feels like if I let go of her, all of this will go away. But I have to turn to everyone who came and be polite. Thank you for the wonderful party. I'll miss all of you. After a few more hugs and tear-filled goodbyes, Mom, Dad, and I load up into a truck, weighed down by the trailer that holds our life, and I'm forced to wave to everyone I'm leaving behind. Our cattle and horses will come as soon as my parents close on the ranch they found in Texas. My heart feels heavy, but as long as I have their addresses, I know I'll always have my friends. Chapter 1. Adrian. Present day. A woman is called a Karen if she's doing something rude and annoying. But what's the name when you come across a man who's doing the same? Ken? Brad? Kevin? Whatever it is, the man before me is seriously getting on my last nerve, and I don't usually have many for the random people I'm forced to come into contact with whenever I come into town. Richard? That way he can be called Dick? I had to come to town to pick up groceries and thought I'd make my way downtown to Mina Sanders' diner to grab the only kind of coffee I'm willing to pay for instead of brewing my own at the house. In this top-knot, flip-flop with tube sock wearing tourist is making my visit to town even more unpleasant than it typically is. How can you not have soy on the menu? He guffaws and begins to tap one flip-flop wielding foot on the linoleum. I've got milk that'll go bad if I don't get my ass on the road soon. Maybe now would be a good time to finally convince the old man to get a dairy cow. He'd just tell me to start packing a cooler. I'm sorry, sir. Lila, Mina's little sister, is quickly losing her temper, which is kind of hilarious considering how squeaky her voice is. She isn't even the sibling anyone should worry about. Out of the three Sanders siblings, she has the coolest head. Evan looks like a brute, but isn't too bad, while surprisingly the dress and smile wearing Mina has the hottest temper. I've told you twice already, around here there isn't much call for soy, so we don't carry it. What kind of tourist destination is this? He scoffs, foot still tapping away. You're in customer service, and I'm not satisfied. I'm seconds away from pulling my knife from the holster at my hip and cutting that man bun from his head. It's an eyesore. I know all the law enforcement around here. I should be safe. Before Lila can say another word, Mina pushes out from behind the saloon-style door leading to the kitchen with 2 full trays of food to deliver to a table filled with old men looking just as pissed off as I'm feeling. She's quick to have them settled and turning her attention to the man who just needs to get the hell out of Morris Valley. If he's having an issue, there's a Starbucks on the opposite end of town. What seems to be the problem here? Her tone is filled with sweetness, but I've seen that innocent-looking snakebite, and she's as deadly as they come. I wish to speak to the manager, he continues with that haughty tone that has my fists clenching as he looks Mina up and down with apparent disgust. It's such a douchebag thing to say and do. I'm the owner. There goes that deadly tone on the final word. That smile drops and her arms cross. If you have a problem with what I have on the menu, then I have to kindly suggest you find somewhere else to get what you're looking for. Well, excuse me, but some of us have places to be. Not taking it anymore, I shove my way to the counter, and as politely as I can, I ask Lila for my usual, and then turn to lean against the counter to look the man in the eye. Out of all my friends, I'm the most reclusive. Tends to happen when you live on and operate a ranch alongside your single dad with no help we can afford. That was extremely rude, he whines and looks like he's trying to be 10 foot tall and bulletproof, but the moment I stand to my full, towering height of 6'1", he takes a staggering step backwards and nearly trips on those fucking flip flops. I'm not nearly as big as two of my friends, Gage Redford and Landon Doyle, who would likely make this man piss his tropical themed shorts, but under my straw cowboy hat and dark shirt with the sleeves rolled up, I can be pretty damn intimidating. No, you want to know what's rude? Thrusting my hands into my jean pockets, I lean closer to him as if I have a secret to share. Coming to another town and expecting people to cater to you. Being a douchebag may be the norm where you come from, but here we treat people with respect, and it's given in return. You being nothing but rude to the two women who have made this business a hometown favorite is the rude thing. If you even think about leaving a bad review, I'll track you down and escort you over the state line myself. And trust me, I narrow my eyes on him, not missing the fact he's trembling. I'll know exactly what vehicle is yours. Now get out of here. This diner doesn't want your money anyway. I'm all for the girls handling this on their own. I know they're capable of it, but I'm in no mood today. It seems like every time I come into town, there's something different to grind my patience down. More houses and apartment complexes expanding the outskirts of town, more people everywhere I look, and fewer things I used to find with ease in the stores. I've never been a prepper or anything, but I'm starting to consider it so I don't have to make any trips and be surrounded by dumbasses. I'm not a huge fan of change, and Morris Valley is changing way too quickly these days. He flounders while the old men start to clap and cheer, growing louder as he finally rushes out. I turn just as Lila puts my coffee on the counter. I don't give a flying fuck what that guy likely thinks of me. I only hope he doesn't do anything to tamper with Mina's reputation. Thank you, Lai. Giving her more than just my amount and tip, I take my coffee and wave goodbye, not only to Mina, but the old guys as well. Man, that guy sounded like a real Chad. Nash Dixon, one of my closest friends, stands by the door grinning like usual as he leans against the wall next to the table of old men. Is that what being a douchebag male Karen is called? Grunting, I take a sip of my coffee, hoping it'll help tamp down my bad mood. Sure, I guess. He's laughing. He wouldn't be if he were here to listen to all the crap the guy was attempting to spread. He's just as protective of our friends in town as I am. What did he do to piss you off so badly? A frown mars his otherwise jovial face as he kicks off the wall and walks over to me. The poor boy needs to get laid. The statement comes before I can answer him. There isn't much that startles me, but the sharp and completely unexpected remark coming from my right throws me, and I nearly stumble into the table of old men barking with laughter. I focus on Polly MacArthur. She's the most legendary woman in Morris Valley, mainly because she speaks her mind and has never, ever possessed a filter for her thoughts. Now, Polly, do we need to have another talk about not butting into other people's love lives? Mina reprimands the old woman, but she knows she struck a chord. Don't worry, Hellfire, she waves Mina off while playing the part of a kind old woman. I'm sure the right girl will come along and Adrian can dip his stick. He slams into my face with her wink. It's enough to have me booking it out of the diner without another word to anyone. I've had to come to town more often in order to find a woman, and even if I did, none really wants a man who works nearly 24 hours a day and lives in isolation.